and vessels in the water to make sure that we retain regionally superior and world-leading sonar capabilities. And that work will commence very shortly, right here in Australia. My second announcement is that our absolutely magnificent Joint Strike Fighter fleet has now reached initial operating capability, which was declared this week by the Chief of Air Force. This is a very significant milestone for this fifth generation multi-role strike fighter. In essence, this means that we now have 30 Joint Strike Fighters fully operational, based out of 81 Wing at Williamtown, at RAF Williamtown. This means initial operating capability means that these are now fit for service and they are delivering exactly what we contracted for the Joint Strike Fighters. So we've got 30 already in operation. We've got another 3 on the way from the United States to take it up to eventually to a fleet of 72 aircraft. And can I also say a very special thank you to all of our men and women in uniform and our defence civilians who are operating on operations here in Australia and also overseas during Christmas. We currently have 2,000 personnel on operations globally who are away from their families again this Christmas. We also have nearly 1,500 Australians, servicemen and women who are on Operation COVID Assist right here in Australia. And can I just say thank you so much to all of you for the amazing work you have done this year in support of Australia on domestic operation, on bushfire assist and now COVID-19 assist. And I know it has been incredibly challenging, particularly for your families, to have been away for so many months during these very uncertain times here and overseas. And finally, can I also thank the 600 ADF personnel who are deployed steaming to Fiji on HMAS Adelaide, our Navy's largest ship. You missed Christmas at short notice with your families here in Australia, and can I just say thank you very much to the 400 ship's crew and also the other 200 Air Force and Navy and Army personnel who are deployed to provide much needed humanitarian and disaster relief support to Fiji after the devastation of Tropical Cyclone Yasa. So to all of you, I say thank you very much. Thank you.
The upgrades you just announced to the conference last week, no certainty on the cycle dockings where that might happen in the future with the new decision.
Yeah. Well, look, thank you very much for the question on full cycle docking. And let me say this first up, that as the Prime Minister and I have said, that decision will be made, like all others, in the $183 billion naval shipbuilding program that we are implementing for our nation. Now, this is one program and this is one decision. But can I say, first of all, to Premier Mark McGowan, Premier McGowan, please give Western Australians a New Year's Eve surprise. I've been working with the West Australian State Government now, with Minister Papalia, for over 2.5 years on the works that we both need, and we have both agreed, needs to be undertaken at Henderson. And as yet, not a single sod has been turned by the state government on the West Australian State Government's own facility here at Henderson, right across, right behind me. So let's have a look at what the federal government has been doing while the state government has been sitting on their hands at Henderson. We have committed over $20 billion worth of naval shipbuilding and infrastructure projects here in Western Australia. We have committed $16 billion to build 45 new naval vessels by Australian companies at Henderson, and that work is well underway. So we've delivered on new vessels here in Western Australia. We've also committed $1.5 billion for naval infrastructure development projects. So we've almost completed $400 million worth of projects here to upgrade HMAS Stirling. We're spending $170 million at Henderson to build a new capability facility for the Navy for our new vessels. We're also committing nearly another $900 million to facilities here on Stirling. This is work being done right now, over 1,000 direct jobs at Henderson, and several hundred companies and several thousand West Australians are now employed because of that. But, Premier McGowan, we need the Henderson facility, the state government facility, to be upgraded. We agreed 2.5 years ago on that work, and I call on the state government to do that work so that Henderson can continue to grow, not just for long-term Navy sustainment, but also for the many civilian companies that operate in that state government facility. So the full cycle docking decision will be made. Again, remember that this is a project that, if it does come here, it would be 5 to 6 years away. The federal government, and as Minister, I am resolutely focused on building the projects and providing the jobs and the long-term work here today.
So there may not be a decision.
It will be made at the right time, like all other decisions we have made. And again, we've made $20 billion worth of decisions for naval shipbuilding and sustainment here in Western Australia over the last few years.
It sounds like you think the infrastructure at Henderson isn't suitable.
Well, the state government and I agreed 2.5 years ago that their facilities need significant upgrades. We need new wharves, we need a new channel into the region, we need electricals, we need new building facilities, we need new transport systems. So there is a lot of work that needs to be done at Henderson, one, to bring it up to specification, but two, to also to build it for future growth.
Is that a warning sign that if it doesn't happen, that full cycle docking won't be finished?
I have not linked the two, and the two are not linked. But my point is that the federal government have invested. We're building 45 naval vessels here. We've invested nearly $20 billion into naval shipbuilding and infrastructure. And it is really time for the state government, as I said, give West Australians a New Year's Eve surprise and a present by actually starting to crack on with the work at Henderson.